Hello, everyone. This is Mesha, and I'm here to host for Gabrielle Twin Flame Tuesdays with Gabrielle Washington. How are you, girl?
I'm doing wonderful, love. How are you?
I am having an amazing day. I'm a little tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but girl, I don't care. What's
Me either. I
new?
don't care either.
What's new? I don't sleep for one reason or another. So.
Well, I have a 3-year-old that doesn't want to sleep sometimes, so I get it.
Yeah, well, my reasons vary, but but no, it's all good. It's all good. It was Twin Flame Tuesday. Last week we talked about how both of us didn't want to get up, but we're like, it's Twin Flame Tuesday. We have to get up. And
I
so,
know.
yeah, so this morning my alarm went off and I'm like, Twin Flame Tuesday, and up I got. So what do we want to talk about today, girl?
Well, you lead into the TV show that the podcast you did last night, and we'll go from there.
Okay, all right. Yes, yesterday I did do a video about how sovereignty of self is what personal power is really about, and how so many people get the two confused, and how a lot of people use personal power really as manipulation, because so many people will say that they're not going to communicate something because they don't want to give someone the upper hand. Well, communication should never be about who's going to have the upper hand. I mean, when we start thinking in those terms, we're doing power games. And if we're doing power games, well, that's like the Chinese finger trap. Nobody's going to win, and you're not going to get out of that trap as long as you're doing the push-pull. And the only way you ever get out of a Chinese finger trap is to relax, and it loosens right up. So whenever we don't communicate, that's what happens is we have this push-pull. And so you may think that you are in control when you are doing the upper hand, but you're just trapping yourself. A friend of mine has a song, "You Played Yourself." Well, you're just playing yourself. I mean, that doesn't work. We're giving up our power when we don't communicate. And so there's so many things about personal power that we have wrong. That really, personal power is about sovereignty over yourself. It's deciding for yourself what it is you are comfortable with doing, what you're comfortable with having in your life, what you are comfortable saying yes to, what you're comfortable saying no to, and not worrying about what the societal programming is around it. And because that's what the energy is that you're going to put out. If you can put the societal programming aside and stand in your personal sovereignty and you're okay with something, then that's the energy you put out. Is, I don't feel disrespected. I don't feel like I gave up my power. I am fine with this. Now, there can be some dysfunctional things. Like if you're letting someone abuse you, if you're letting someone beat you, and you're saying, I feel just fine with that, then there's some mental health issues there. And that's from some programming where you've been programmed to believe it's okay to be abused. So I'm not talking those things. There's definitely some issues there that you can cross the line. There is some right and wrong and that sort of thing. But I'm talking about like when we're told, especially like in Twin Flame, when we're told, don't reach out to that person, you're chasing them. Well, define chasing. For some people, it's chasing if you send one message and they don't answer you. For other people, it's 500 messages and they don't answer. Okay, 500. You probably need to talk to that person. There's an issue there. They do have an obsessive compulsive issue probably, and a self-esteem issue, and a lot of things. They probably do need to go and do some inner work. But one time and they didn't answer you, I mean, that could be all sorts of things, And so then you're getting into you're blowing things up. You're getting into this, and so. And if we listen to these people, that's the other thing too. Why do we always have to ask someone else their advice? Why are we not trusting ourselves? Personal sovereignty is about, Well, what do I feel about it? Why do I have to know what somebody else feels? Well, one, we've been told to listen to everyone else. Our family, our friends, they want to give their advice.
Yes.
And we've been told that, well, you don't know what to do. I'm the one that knows. Well, why do you know better than I do? It's me. It's my life. I know what works for me, what doesn't. So in Twin Flame world, I think that is a lot of what is contributed to our runner chaser issues, to our having trouble coming together and into union, is sovereignty of self and our own decisions about what we want our lives to look like. That should define how we come into union, what union is, how we handle all of this. And instead, we have got so many sources telling us what to do, and we've got so much confusion. So we've got societal programming, we've got our own hurt, we've got what everybody else thinks, we've got all these things bombarding us, and so we've got this Chinese finger trap thing going on, and we're not getting anywhere. We're trapped, and we're all frustrated and hurting ourselves, and we're playing ourselves,
and hurting each other.
Yeah, so just stop. Just stop and look at your individual situation. And the two of you, well, just like I teach with 1 + 1 = 3, every relationship, whether it's a job, family, whatever, and twin flame included, the two of you talk out, what does this need to look like? Because why should twin flame, just because you're twin flame, why does that mean the two of you meet and everything falls into place and you fall into this amazing union where you are married overnight and have 2.5 kids and a house and 3 cars and go on 3 vacations a year? I mean, why is all that what you're supposed to automatically have? I mean, what about getting to know each other? Well, you do know each other. You're the other half of each other. Well, but you've had a lifetime before you met. None of that is negated. I mean, you still have to do all of that. You still have all the stuff you're overcoming. You know, that person still has things they're working through. You still have things you're working through. I mean, so why do we think,
we still have physical work here. We still have work to do here. We get wrapped up in the romance and the feelings of it, which is a beautiful thing. But we still have physical work, physical programmings that we have to look past and push past. And one thing I love saying about one aspect of it, which your twin is on the other side, you only have one ego to worry about instead of 2. Because when I started communicating with my twin when he passed over, I had to pull back a lot of layers. There was points in my journey where I would scream and get mad and upset about certain things. But when I pushed past those certain limited beliefs and programmings, then I was able to communicate with him on a deeper level. So yes, that's that whole programming of this reality of how should we show up? How should we be with someone? How is our relationship supposed to look? So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have this whole notion of what union looks like. And then for you and your followers, union looks nothing like what society thinks it should. You all are learning to live the life you have now, and your twins are on the other side. So, I mean, what does union look like for that?
Yeah.
You know, because there's this notion of, well, can you even have a type of union if your twin is on the other side? And obviously you and your twin work together, and yet your life has gone on. So for someone to tell you that you can't have a quote unquote relationship with your twin now, well, I work with you all the time. I beg to differ. You know, I absolutely know you can. Now, is it the same as I hope to have with my twin someday? Absolutely not. My twin is still here. But is the relationship I'm going to have with my twin, or do have with my twin, going to look anything like the person who's got 2.5 kids and well, no, I'm almost 60 years old. I'm not ever going to have any more kids. So that's not realistic. So, you know, I mean, you know, we can't let what society thinks union with your twin means dictate what we do. And it all comes down to the energy we put out. And if we accept that energy coming into us from society, if we don't have sovereignty over what our energy is, and we don't have sovereignty over what we're putting out, then we have sabotaged, we have self-sabotaged union before we ever even start to get there. I mean, we have no chance of getting there if that's the approach we're going to take. If we're going to have this preconceived notion of what union has to look like and the path to getting there, we have no way of getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't. I completely agree. I mean, it looks different for every twin flame, even though we have some things that are similar along our journey, but we do have things that are different. And you have to have sovereignty over yourself. This is the whole journey of the twin flame union, of learning how to have sovereignty over ourselves and bringing those energies together so we can create magic into this reality. So, if we're giving away our power to outside forces, to society, or our parents telling us this relationship, or whoever else is around us, you're looking too much into this or whatever, then we're shutting down our own internal guidance system that's telling us this is something different. This person is different. It's something, I don't care what anybody else says, I know it's something different about this union. So that's why sovereignty is so important.
Well, and every union is for a different purpose. I mean, you meet that person, and and what I've talked openly, about the fact that twins frequently, when they meet each other, they have this, I know I'm supposed to do something with that person. I talk about that all the time. So you meet that person, you're supposed to do something with them. How do you do something with them if every relationship is supposed to look the same? Because you know that every twin flame union is not supposed to do the same thing. So how do you do that? How do you do your twin flame mission if every mission looks the same? They don't look the same.
They don't.
No. Mm-hmm. And so that alone doesn't work. That alone doesn't work. So if you, and the only way you can find what that is actually form a relationship and get to know one another. And you're not going to know that if you are trying so hard to fit this mold of what a relationship and union looks like. You're going to miss the boat on what your mission is. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
and they're going to reflect certain things in you. And if you're not in communication, if you're not in a place where you can see the different things that are reflected, whether they're good reflections or what we look at as bad reflections. First, this all is coming up for us to be able to heal, for us to be able to come to a more harmonious union in general. So if we're not aware of when, say, for example, our twin might piss us off in some kind of way, but if we're not aware of our own internal resonancy with why they pissed us off, why that even run clear to us in the beginning, then we're not going to be able to do this self-healing work. And it's all about the self-healing journey of thyself to bring you all into union, because that's just how it goes.
Well, because none of us are any good here until we are whole ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just not. We're not any good to anyone until we are whole ourselves. Until we can plug into the vibrational frequency of us. We are not any good to anyone. And the truth of the matter is, if you came here as a twin and you plug into the vibrational frequency of yourself, you are going to be in some sort of union with that twin, some sort of harmony with that twin. And what that harmony looks like is based on what the two of you wrote. Mm-hmm. And so who knows what that is, but that's union with your twin. Only the two of you know, because the two of you wrote that. So the only way to be in union with your twin is to heal. And the two of you have to do that. And the only way you can do that is be sovereign over yourself. And you're not doing that if you're relinquishing that personal power to societal programming. Mm-hmm. And if you're butting heads all the time and pushing and pulling, and if you're trying to make that other person into what you think they should be. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the big things, one of the big taboos here. And I talk about this a lot because I'm the one that they've been channeling to about, and maybe they're channeling to other people. I don't know. Well, they are. I've heard other people talk about this. So I'm not the only one talking about it, but about the sacral chakra and not commingling non-resonant energies. And I keep saying, because I want people to know, I mean this, I am not talking from a standpoint of morality. I don't care who sleeps with who. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. But it is a matter of, that is your manifesting chakra. And if you have someone that you're not in a monogamous relationship and they are having sex with someone else and then commingling the energies, you have to keep your own sacral chakra clear. So what that really and truly means, it comes down to the same thing as in my mind. Of course, I come from the generation of where I can remember when women first started taking birth control pills. I can remember that. I can remember when they snuck around to do it. You know, I can remember when that was like you snuck to go do those things because you didn't talk about them. I can remember when Loretta Lynn did the song "The Pill." And you know, they thought she was going to ruin her career because she did it. You know, so women stepping up and taking personal responsibility to say, you know what, I want to have sex and I don't want to get pregnant. So this is what I'm going to do for me. So it's the same thing in the twin flame journey. The men's sacral chakra area is much easier for them to clear the energy than it is for the female. And that's just the truth of the matter. So what you actually have to do to not have this issue of commingling the energies is you've got to be honest. And if you're twin and you are not being monogamous with one another, you've got to say so. And you have to take personal responsibility for your sacral chakra and keep your energy clear. So what it requires is open communication. Now, if you feel disrespected because your twin is having sex with someone else, then that's the energy you put out. I feel disrespected. So the universe, the energy it gets is she's being disrespected and she's allowing it. And that's the energy that comes back to you. And that's what you're manifesting in your life then, is that she allows herself to be disrespected. She allows herself to be disrespected. But if you feel like we have had this adult conversation, we're at this point in our lives, I'm accepting of this and he's accepting of this, then that's a very different thing. But there's also the matter of what do you allow, you know, how long do you allow that? I mean, all of that is up to you. You know, like I said, how do you get to know one another? How do you, you know, we have this notion that because we're twin flame, we meet each other and that's just it. We met each other and so it's just wonderful. It's perfect. Every problem we ever had, it's over. They're never going to want to find out about, you know, do I belong with somebody else? Do I belong by myself? But that's just not true. Yeah. So, and the other thing is, why is it okay? I mean, we go back to that old notion of men don't have to feel this. So why do women? We still have that. We still have those old paradigms from years ago that is now, this was 50, 60 stuff. And here we are all the way in the 2020s. And we are still in the twin flame world dealing with that. I know I have friends that are in their 60s and 70s that are discovering twin flame. And this is what their friends are saying to them that is causing the runner chaser paradigm right now is, well, you can't do that because, well, you know, you're disrespecting yourself. They're only disrespecting themselves if they feel that way. Now, my personal opinion, I can give it. My personal opinion is if the only reason they're contacting you is to take you to bed, then you're being disrespected. That's my personal opinion. And I can tell you, I ain't being that girl. You know, I'm not going to be contacted just to go to bed. But that's me. And that's how I feel. You know, and my energy that I would put out would be, damn, the only reason that person wants to see me is to go to bed once every 6 months. I'm disrespected. And that's the energy I'm going to put out. That's what's going to come back. No way. And there's no way I can escape that paradigm because in my mind, if you don't ever hear from that person, see that person, that's what that is. Okay. But that's me and that's mine. But someone else may not see it that way at all. And if they don't, and that's not the energy they're putting out,
that's not the energy they're going to get.
That's not the energy they're going to get. And so we have to respect that. So what we have to teach is the truth, in spite of my paradigm on that, in spite of the fact that I feel that way. And I do. If the only time you hear from that person is once every 6 months and it's so they can go to bed with you and then they're out the door, you're being used. Okay. That is my paradigm on that. But in spite of that, what I have to say is the truth. It is your personal responsibility to decide for yourself. Put that energy out. It's your personal responsibility to clear your sacral chakra. And that's energy management. And that's what I have to teach. Regardless of my personal paradigm, on what's being used and what's not being used. And that's what we're not doing.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're pulling our own personal beliefs into it, and we're saying, listen, girl, you're being used. You can't do that. And so then in their mind, they're going straight to, well, I can't do that. I'm being used. My friends think I'm being used, and I'm being used. And well, if you didn't think you were being used, then girl, you weren't being used.
The best thing I can say about the twin flame dynamic, and from my own personal experience, from talking to other twins, is people around you will not understand the dynamic. They just will not understand the dynamic. So don't even go and looking and answering. And this is even in general, even if you're on a spiritual journey or anything, when you're stepping into other levels of understanding, the people around you that is not used to that paradigm, they're not going to understand what you're talking about. So when you try to tell them this and get them to make them understand it, whatever, you're legitimately draining your life force energy because you're trying to make someone listen to you. That's why you vibrate at a frequency to attract the people in your life that are going to be on the same frequency as you. That's going to be talking within the lines that you understand and your internal being knows. And that goes into, who do you trust when you're listening to the twin flame journey? Yes. Who do you trust? You trust what feels right within your internal being. If the person that you're talking to, whether it's me or anyone else, if it doesn't feel right within your residency, because sometimes it's different ways to be able to acknowledge it. Sometimes it might be like, no, that just doesn't feel right with me. I'm just not going to be turned in. Sometimes it might be like, you know what? It might be something there, but even though, let me look more into that because I might have some levels to that to be able, some lenses. So let me look more into this and how I feel about myself. But that comes back to having sovereignty over thyself and asking your internal self questions of what feels right to you. So this whole game is about energy management and having sovereignty over thyself so you can know how you need to show up in this world and have the energy you need to put off so you can receive that same energy.
Absolutely. And that's what it all comes down to. And it is okay to maintain those relationships with people who aren't at your level of consciousness, but you have to remember they're not. And so don't give them so much of your energetic bandwidth anymore. That doesn't mean you break those relationships. That's about that progressing down your timeline and deciding about your energetic bandwidth and what you're going to do with it. And that's about finding the people that are, as you say, that's about attracting in the people that are resonating or vibrating with your energy and having those conversations. And that's, we'll just go to some other places that are going to be, not my paradigm, but that's okay. Polyamorous relationships, or amorous, which, yeah. That's not ever going to be my paradigm. I'm not ever going to be there, and I know that about me. And that has nothing to do with judgment. That has to do with my personal comfort and what I know I have the energetic bandwidth for. I don't have the energetic bandwidth to be that way in an intimate relationship. That's me personally. But I don't judge other people who do. So my sovereignty over self, twin flame, non-twin flame, soulmate, whatever. My sovereignty over self is not for me to sit around and tell other twin flames, you're being disrespected if you get into a twin flame relationship where that's what's going on. My sovereignty over self is to say, if you're comfortable with that, if you do not feel disrespected, but you actually enjoy that, then that is okay for you. But if you are feeling disrespected, if you are agreeing to that relationship just to be with your twin, then you're doing the wrong thing because you're not being true to yourself. That's sovereignty over self. And that's like, for me, that is a place I can never go. And I know that for me. But I have no judgment, again, no judgment over anyone else, because that's the other thing we have to do. We have to let go of these labels. Where people are at with their consciousness, with their level of consciousness, and what they're comfortable with is their business. It's not ours. That's what freedom is. Freedom is to get out of people's lives and let them, as long as they're not hurting me, as long as they're not saying, no, you have to have somebody else in your bed too. As long as they're not telling me I have to do that, then why do I care what they're doing? Why do I care? It's not hurting me. But it is. It's about having your having your own understanding of what's good for you, and using your voice to stand up for that, and keeping that, and not compromising your own personal integrity. What is your personal integrity? Whether it's that or whatever it is. But there are those who will say, well, it can't really be twin flame if they want to be in bed with somebody else too. Well, it might be.
Yeah.
You know,
and that goes into I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you were talking about that, that goes into about, because I've had several twins ask me, does it have to be a heterosexual relationship? And we're talking about energies. These are just, let's just get this out the way. These are meat suits. These are suits our soul decided to put on to come in that has different sexes. So when you're talking about energy, it could be in the same sex. Two males or two females, or a male and a female. So that does not matter. And and that's another thing about society. Society will try to tell you, oh, it's only between a man and a woman. Those are those society beliefs and structures that have been put on us that we have to start looking past and start looking inside of ourselves to see what's really true for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, because energy doesn't know, like tarot readers will tell you it's the King of Cups, but that's just the energy. That doesn't mean that I'm talking to a male right now. Because the energy can embody any physical gender. It's the same way with this. And so your twin can be either physical gender. That has nothing to do with it. And that's the other thing that society has to get out of the way of. We cannot and again, all relationships are the same. Twin flame is, yes, it's the ultimate connection. There's no sex like it. There's no comfort that's like it. There's no ease that's like it once you start doing the Chinese finger trap, But that's the beauty of it. And that's why we have to become sovereign over ourselves. And we have to let go of the paradigms, let go of the societal programming, and get to that point so we can have those beautiful relationships and model that for the rest of the world. So the rest of the world, whether it be soulmates, whether it be within just the family dynamics, whether it be work dynamics, so everyone else in the world can say, hold on a second. Wow, these really intense relationships that we thought were so difficult to have, look how they have relaxed the Chinese finger trap, stop pulling on one another, and look how harmonious they are. This 1 + 1 = 3 thing, this really works. It works for those people that were like running and chasing each other, and they were all over the internet, and it was a big freaking deal. And now look how beautiful those relationships are. And does it look like what we thought a relationship should look? Well, no, it doesn't look like what I thought, but damn, they're happy. If we would start being happy for the fact that people can be happy, instead of thinking that happy has to look like what we think it should look like.
Yes.
That's the issue here.
Yes. And that goes to anything. Even if you're on your spiritual journey or anything. I've had people to tell me from, I used to be, Southern Baptist Christian, and I've had people to tell me that the path that I'm on is not right. And, who are you to judge? Yeah. We all came here to have sovereignty over thyself. So, and I don't judge you. If that's the path that you decide to follow, that's the path you decide to follow. The path I decide to follow is what resides within me, which I know my higher self is calling me to do. Right. So when I listen to, or when I did used to listen to those programmers and things, that's what had me energetically sick, had my body energetically sick, because all those programmings was dimming my light to be able to shine in the way it needed to shine. Now, if the paradigm for you is to be, in a religion or anything like that, then you're going to shine and light your way up. But it's not for us, regardless of what paradigm we're in, twin flame or anything, to put our belief systems, what is right for us, on anyone else and make them feel some kind of way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, whenever you and your twin are working with other couples, because I know mostly the way you all work is one twin is already passed. Is that what you all mostly do?
Yeah. He's well, I work with other couples that twins are here too.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm usually with either one or the other, because they're trying to get information on what's going on within their dynamics, and I'm able to give them some guidance. Or, like I said, I've had those instances where I was telling them, Spirit told me this wasn't a twin flame union, and got a little snapped at.
Imagine that.
But later on down the line, they were like, you know what? It wasn't. When they started doing the healing work, they were able to see that it was some lens and filters they had on within themselves, that they were having a codependency relationship. So, but that's not for me to judge. Whatever information Spirit gives me, I give it to the person. It's for them to have sovereignty over thyself, to take that in. And if it works for them, it works for them. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we do work with a lot of twins have crossed over as well, and we're able to get messages from that twin that has passed over, and to help really give their twins some insight on how to live this reality without them, because so many twins in our community, after their twin has passed away, years later down the line, it could be 10, 15, 20 years, they are still in agonizing pain. Like they don't know how to get out of this rut. And this is why I do this Twin Flame Tuesday. And this is why I have the Twin Flame group, for everyone to be able to ask questions, to be able to talk about what's going on. Because I see so many people crying out in the group for help, but they don't really know, or they're afraid to move. Like I'm here to give guidance and help, but they're afraid to move. It's because they've been stuck in fear for so long, and they feel their other half not physically here, but they're not looking past the illusion of this reality. When their twin is, and even some of them today will say, my twin is communicating with me, I know it and I sense it and I feel it, but I just can't shake this. You have so much work here to do. And that's what me and my twin comes in as, trying to get you to see and get you to realize and communicate with your twin on the other side, for you to be able to see the things that you're meant to shake up in this reality and work together. And I also have other twins in the group that do what I do. They work with their twin on the other side, and we're doing the exact same thing, helping people. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I would think that most likely, and I'm guessing, I'm asking,
Mm-hmm.
I would think that most likely, frequently, what you're from the other side they're advising is, listen to yourself, listen to your own guidance. Don't listen to what's going on around you. I would say a lot of what they're doing is advising and teaching and helping give them strength to deprogram and to trust their own inner wisdom, their own inner, listen to their own hearts, listen to their own inner guidance.
Yeah, that is their own internal guidance system. And when we're locked in pain, because I know I lost a twin too. When we're locked in pain, it brings chaos within our whole nervous system, our whole body, and everything. Yes. And if we're locked in that pain for years and years and years and years, we've been sitting in that frequency for so long. So I understand how it's so hard to pull yourself out of that frequency when you've been in that frequency. But when twins come to me and get reading and they communicate with their twin on the other side, their twin is always there to give them, inspiration and hope, and to uplift their spirits and let them know that it's more work to do. I just need you to let go of the pain of losing me in my physical existence, and know that I'm still here with you. And once you can let go of this pain, we're going to be able to communicate more. You're not even going to need a medium or anything else. You're going to be able to communicate with me personally. And I remember before I even knew I was a medium, and I went to another medium and was communicating with my twin. It was some things that she wasn't able to tell me from my twin, because he wanted me to do the internal work so I can to start communicating with him. And lo and behold, that's when I found out I was a medium. So yeah.
Well, gosh, where to start with that? There's so much in there. There is so much in that, what you just said. Wow. Where to start? You can feel them.
Yeah.
You can, and the thing is, I know that when they're here on this side, it's hard to know, is it their higher self I'm feeling, or am I communicating with their 3D self? So at least when your twin is passed, you at least know you're communicating with them on the other side. You at least have that part out of the way. Which I'm not saying that's not a comfort. I know, but
the comfort is you have one ego to worry about, not two.
Yeah, you at least know that. You at least know, okay, at least I know who this is. I know what is going on here. I'm not trying to figure out, okay, do I pick up the phone and call, and are they going to know what I'm talking about? Just because I had a conversation with them just now, are they going to know what I'm talking about? You don't have that to worry about, which often on this side, you do. Because they don't know. The 3D is, they don't know. But that doesn't change the fact that that is still what we're doing. We are still coming into union to be wholly ourselves, to fulfill our own individual missions and our mission as twins together. And that mission as twins together may be nothing more than to show the world that relationship can be done in all sorts of ways, and respecting different types of relationships is what we're here for. But I think a lot of what union is meant to do is to show the world that happiness and joy and love are relaxed and easy, and they're not controlling and manipulative.
Yes, unconditional love is free flowing. It's a river. It's water. You can't stop the flow of the river. It's going to go in whatever avenue channels that it feels like going, and it is the most at ease. So yes.
It's like a parent who has a child and they want to dictate what that child does. My daddy love me? I know daddy loves me. I know daddy loves me now, but he wanted to so micromanage what I became and what I did, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that wasn't his place to do. It was my life to live. And so we can say that we love someone. My mom, for example, she'll frequently say, "So have you heard from Patrick? Have you heard from Patrick?" I don't micromanage my son's life. Would I like to hear from him more? Sure, I would. My son is very busy. My son has a very successful career. He's got, his fiance. My son is very busy. So when he does reach out to me, we may be 3 hours on Zoom. I enjoy every minute of that. But I don't micromanage his life and tell him what to be or any of those things. But I do help facilitate whatever it is that is going to make his life better. That's my role as his parent to do. That's unconditional love. Now, that doesn't mean that I let him hurt me or disrespect me. If there's something that I feel is disrespectful to me, and that is for me to determine what it is. Now, to mom, not knowing everything he's doing, that's disrespectful. But to me, that's not. To me, that would be micromanaging him. And so that is the same thing with loving our twin or loving anyone else. If we feel like we have to micromanage their lives, if we feel like we have to know everything about what they're doing, all of those things, which we're learning that from like the 2000 twins and the 2016 on twins, their relationships are very different. You talk to the 60s and 70s twins, or just people in relationships to begin with, and if they say, "Yeah, my twin, they go hang out with their friend John and go to movies," to be like, "What? Well, she's sleeping with him then." No, she's not. They're friends, because that's unbelievable in that generation. And yet younger people, they don't think anything about that. Yeah, my friend's got a friend, and that's, they're male, female, and no, they're not sleeping together. They're just sleeping. And they are perfectly fine with that. But so that all comes from societal programming. They accept that, and they don't have that automatic jump to that conclusion. And so it's just so much more relaxed and accepting, and the relationships are so much easier. And there's, so you can talk about those things, and there's no jealousy. There's no, and so that's the way we have to understand that with twin flame too. We can't come at this with paradigms. We have to come at it from, with our own, respecting ourselves, what it is that ourselves we can live with and makes us happy. But we still have to also deprogram ourselves from the societal programming, because we can be so heavily programmed that we're robbing ourselves of our twin flame experience because of the programming.
And that's why I think in the collective now, we have the assignment of the de-assignment of gender roles. We have, people that are, heterosexual, poly. We have people that are pansexual, all these different sexualities. And that's because the consciousness is raising. We've been stuck in a paradigm of just black and white for so long. And as these newer generations, they're more free flowing. They're more open to how love looks in different arenas. Today I might be attracted to a male. Tomorrow I might be attracted to a female. You know, I'm not going to let society put that judgment on me. And that's one thing because I'm from a paradigm. I was born in the 80s. I'm stuck in between both of those paradigms.
Right.
So I see both.
You're in the middle.
I'm in the middle. So I see both of them. And it's one thing I really do love about the newer generation is because they're not putting labels. They're like, you know, don't label me as this. Don't put this paradigm on me. Don't put this age on me. Don't put these stipulations on me. And they're just being a model for me by looking at even younger children, the flow of just how love is just supposed to flow. You accept people for who they are and who they show up to be.
Right. And we have to do that. You know, when we go to telling someone, I love you so much, now you be this.
Yeah.
We're kidding ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't love that person.
Yeah.
That's not love when you do that. And so in the twin flame journey, that's what we have to look at. I think if we really look at this, I think we can identify false twins that way is because I've not really run across any people yet who are false twins. I haven't run across that yet. But I know they exist. I think one of the ways to know if you're in a false twin relationship or not, or trying to be in a false twin relationship, is you got this push-pull going. And the reason the push-pull is going is because I just love them so much. They're my twin, but they're not the person I want them to be. Well, if they're not the person you want them to be, the problem is, why are you wanting to change who they are? You know, you don't love that person the way twins love one another.
Yeah.
The way twins feel about each other, they don't want to change that person.
Yeah.
They want to see that person shine.
Yes.
Now, do they want to be with that person? Yes, they want to be with that person.
Yeah.
They want that.
Yeah.
But they also want it to be healthy. They want it to be a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes for that to grow into a healthy relationship. As long as they have to be healthy themselves and know that, okay, this is a place I can't go, and they have to speak up and say so. I mean, they have to use their voice. They have to be respected. You know, we have to have that. We have to have self-respect, and we have to be respected, because if we're putting the energy out of not having respect, then the universe says, well, then damn, she doesn't care if she's respected or not. And so, but we have to relax into that of letting each of us be who we are, or I don't think we're in a twin flame relationship if we're not doing that.
And I can agree with that. When you're in a twin flame relationship, it doesn't matter how many times your twin could have a fallout, or, you know, do the runner pusher twin chaser thing. But you still want the best for this person. You still want them to show up and shine their light. You're not trying to dim. You're not trying to do any of those things and throw. Even if you have your own prejudgments about things, it just seems to melt away. That energy inside of you just seems to melt away those prejudgments about, well, because I'll give you a prime example. When my twin was here, and I first had a conversation with him, and before I met him, I didn't really like the way his voice sounded. And I was like, I'm probably not going to like him when I meet him in person. And when I met him, it's just, all that just melted away, you know. And at the time, shoot, I was almost 300 pounds, and I'm pretty sure he didn't date a lot of girls that was 300 pounds, you know. So all those judgments and those lenses of where society should have been like, you know, well, why are you dating this guy? Why are you dating, you know, this girl, you know? So it's just it's annoying. That's why having sovereignty over thyself is so important, because so you won't get caught up in these relationships where you're in a false twin relationship, or you're in a karmic mate, a codependency relationship with a narcissist, and you're feeding all your energy and you're calling it a twin flame union. A twin flame union, regardless of what kind of difficulties you have in the union, you still want the best and highest good for all. And I remember saying to myself, and I remember my twin even saying this to me as well when we were broken up to each other, that regardless of what happens between us, we still want to be friends. We never wanted to not be friends.
Absolutely.
And we always wanted the best for each other, even if that wasn't with each other. So
yeah, I think that is absolutely the case too. I think, and of course that can be level of consciousness. I think we have to acknowledge that too. I think there are some people who are so heavily indoctrinated with societal programming, and level of consciousness has not come to that yet. So I think it is possible that twins can meet and possibly not get to that point because of that indoctrination. But I think there's something about meeting your twin that does open the heart chakra up enough that you do at least come to that point.
Yeah.
Whether you're able to overcome the societal programming and get to the point that you actually come into union or not.
Yeah.
You still, I believe that the twins do open their heart chakras enough that the friendship does form.
Yeah.
And I suppose that what would stand in the way of that would be if, again, this other societal programming we have, which is twin flame programming, which is that, well, it's if you can't be together in union as a couple, then you can't settle for the friendship. Well, again, it's got to be what you can personally deal with, and what you can feel respected, and what you can handle being around. It does have to be an individual thing, but there's no way that you can. Again, I've said this before. I've heard people say, "Well, I'm not going to do the healing work because if I do the healing work, they benefit from it, and I'm not doing the work for them. I'm pissed at them." No, you're not even close to. I kind of question, are those real twins? Because you just don't feel that way. So I think a lot of those kind of things point if it's really your twin or not, because you don't feel those kind of, you don't have those kind of
malice feelings and malice, because this energy is you. So
it's you.
It's like, why consciously on an unconscious level, on a superconscious level, your higher self, why would you, even though all of us, we are all in general, we are all each other, but this energy is you yourself. So why would you want to hurt yourself? Why would you want to see the worst for yourself? So it even hurts you to even think, if your mind, for me to say, I don't think I can speak for myself and other twins that I've talked to, for your mind to even go there about, I want to do this to my twin, or I want to get back, or I want to, be malicious in some kind of way. That energy just does not ring clear to me from my experience, and from my experience about interviewing other twins and talking to other twins. It's just a residency, like you said, it opens up your heart chakra. And regardless of how many programmings you had, like when me and my twin first met, we were deep in our shit. We were deep in our pain. We were deep in unhealed wounds. So we had a lot of programmings on us. But when we met each other, we didn't even know at the time. Like I told you, I didn't discover we were twins after he passed away. We never heard of the term before or anything. So we knew it was something different about each other. It was something calling us to be with each other. We would be together hours at a time at night and have long conversations.
Is it raining? A plane.
Yeah.
The plane.
But we would have long conversations and just want to be in each other's energy. And it's just a knowing. It's an internal knowing and internal guidance systems that leads you to your twin. It's like a compass. A compass.
It's a compass. It's a compass. Yeah, it's a cosmic compass.
Yeah, a cosmic compass. Yeah.
So I think really what it comes down to is to know yourself. Sovereignty of self. You're I'm always screaming sovereignty of self. You're always saying know thyself.
Yes.
Practice the energy management, which is releasing the old paradigms, releasing the societal programming, pulling your energy to yourself, putting out the energy. What you have determined for yourself is self-respect. Putting that out, not what someone else has said, but what you determine. And again, healthy. Don't go into things that are people pleasing. Oh well, I guess I'll do that. I'll compromise my integrity to please my twin. And again, we each have our own version of that, but there are some lines there. There are some things that are okay. That is not okay. Letting them beat you up is not okay. We're not saying that. All right. But there are things that some people consider disrespectful that other people don't, and we have to acknowledge that. There are some things that people consider not acceptable that others have no problem with, and we have to accept that. And it is not our place to be telling them, well, you can't do that. That's not right. That's not our place. What what I'm comfortable with in the bedroom and what you're comfortable with in the bedroom are two different things, and that's nobody else's business. And that's where we have to stop. We have to stop interfering in those things. We can't give that kind of advice. We shouldn't give that kind of advice, and we really shouldn't be seeking it from other people. That's the kind of thing we have to decide from within, and we have to become comfortable as a people deciding those things from within. And I think coming to someone like you who can, your twin from the other side can give information from the other side about, you're feeling this here in this life, and I can back it up from the other side and say, yes, the energy here supports exactly what you're feeling. The energy here is exactly what you're feeling. You're not imagining. Yes, that is how it is. That those paradigms are non-existent here. Energy does flow that way here. And I think, well, it's hard. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I mean, I would, yeah, I'll take friendship all day long over your situation.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it. But that is the advantage you have, is you can be told, yes, you're right. That is the difference between the energy in the two places. So is that a lot of the advantage of coming to counseling with the two of you?
Yes, it is. That's a lot of advantage, and being able to connect with your twin if they're on the other side or if they're physically still here, being able to give you some direction of the energies that you all might be experiencing, even though that human persona and those lens are might be keeping you all from relaxing into, instead of doing this right here, the Chinese finger trap.
Yeah, the Chinese finger trap. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I know today's topic was more my stuff than your stuff, but we talked about that before the show.
Yes, we did. But I mean, I think because it opens up, we're having a conversation about the twin flame union, and it's a lot of stuff out there, and it's a lot of questions that needs to be asked. So we just kind of today summed it up about how to be able to know thyself, what feels right within you, what doesn't feel right, having sovereignty, being able to speak that, not letting people, the outside world, determine your twin flame union and how that looks and how you should show up. Because if y'all seen some old pictures of me and my twin when we was here, y'all would have thought we were crazy. But that was us. That was our energy. We loved that. So, to each his own. But yeah, so this is what this whole dynamic is about. So I think we did a pretty good job of summing it up today.
I do too, because I think there's so much out there, and I ache for the people who contact me and they are so distraught, and they're like, and my mom says this and my sister says that, and I'm like, why are I want to say, stop asking your mom and your sister, but you can't tell people that, of course, and so it's, I keep going back to, all right, well, let's go to you. What does your heart space say? What do and releasing the energy and pulling the energy, but that's really what I want to say sometimes. What I want to say is, please stop asking everybody else. But that is another thing that we are trained to do as a society, is talk to everybody else about it. And as you know, you learn really quickly in all of this that you can't do that. There's no need talking to anybody else about it. Hardly, very few people you can talk to about any of it.
Well, I'm gonna say one thing, Naisha. One thing I do when people come to me and they're giving all their power away, and I'm like, I will say, so why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Why are you doing
that? Yeah, I've been known to say that. Well, the truth of the matter is, I've been known to just flat out say, okay. Yeah. You gotta stop that.
Yeah. And that usually triggers something in them, so they can start looking inside. And that's what it's all about. To be able to look and see what lens have been put on you, so you can identify them, unplug those programmings, plug in your own programmings. That's what it's really about.
Right. Yeah. Or as our friend Sherry Moyse says, when people say, and then mom said this and dad said that, and Sherry will say, what's true about that? That's Sherry's big thing. What's true about that? Yeah. What's true here about that? So I mean, there are all sorts of more tactful ways probably than I did, which is why I try not to do it, because I'm a bear in a china shop girl. Once I've finally had enough, what I usually say is, what the once I finally say it, it usually comes out that way. But yeah, so Twin Flame compilation book. We're still looking for authors, and we're really excited about that. And the way that works, of course, is you get of course, the energy management counseling with me and how to make a book from your business or enhance your business with a book. And Gabrielle, of course, is there to help you as well. And we are just really excited and looking forward to putting all of that together. And so you can become a public speaker with it, so you can teach workshops with it. We'll help you put together a tool to go with it if you don't have one of your own. And of course, there's journaling prompts, there's meditations you can do. People have all sorts of tools that they use, but if you don't have one of your own, we'll help you put that with your story that you're going to share. And so reach out to us. I always put the link in with it. But so Gabrielle, tell us what's going on with Showgirl. Where are you at with that?
Okay, well, the TV show. So I did not make it to the final rounds.
Yeah, that's just messed up.
I dropped down to the 5th place, but no worries, because we still have an opportunity. So yes. now everything is determined on my content that I make. So I just had a video on TikTok the other day, went viral. It's at 40.5K. And so y'all make sure y'all follow me on TikTok. I will leave that description in the link as well. And then I have been putting a lot of content out there, and so that right there in itself is going to be able to determine for the judges to determine if they're going to take me or whoever else along by our content. So the content is going to have to speak for itself.
Well, your content is great, and yes, you're doing these amazing. I did my first TikTok yesterday. The one we talked about, I ended up putting it on TikTok.
I gotta go check it out.
Yeah. But no, your TikTok is great. I enjoy. I'm old. TikTok goes too fast for me. I'm like, what? But I did my first TikTok yesterday, and I follow yours. You know, I'm so glad when you send me the things. I know But well, so is there anything we can do to help?
Well, what you can just do now is just send the energy. You can go join my TikTok community. I'm giving out a lot of free gems, a lot of good information there for you to be able to empower your life and take your power back.
The animal spirit stuff is interesting.
The animal spirit guide series that I have on TikTok, where you're able to learn more about your animal spirit guides and able to connect with them. I also have another series on healers, and because I am a healer and I work with healers, I help healers to amplify their abilities to be able to turn it on themselves so they can start living their best life. All that is included on my channel as well, and you'll learn different things about yourself if you have these different abilities, and just a lot of learning information so you can be able to have a safe space while all this world is chaotic around you. You can have a safe space to come to with fellow like-minded, friends and soul tribes, to be able to get this information that you need to be able to empower your life. And if you're looking for any intuitive readings, any mediumship readings to communicate with your deceased loved one, or to just see what's going on in your twin flame dynamic now, the link will also be in the bio, as well as my soul transformational coaching program as well. So yeah, those are a lot of the things I have going on now.
Wow, that is a lot, girl. Wow. I'm tired just listening to it all. Whoa, that is a lot.
I'm busy all the time. Like, I'm moving gears all the time. Then being a full-time mom.
Yes, you are. You stay covered up. Stay covered up. Well, it is always so good to be with you. And of course, we will be on next week. And I'm sure we will kind of gravitate back toward whatever questions the community has. But I appreciate that we talked about the post I did yesterday. But you and I both talk about sovereignty of self so much. And it is so important because that's what all of this is about. The twin flame journey is attached completely to the rising of the level of consciousness right now. And I think it's so important that people make this individual, because our level of consciousness increasing, are becoming more energetic aware. It really does come down to the fact that we are energy. And no matter what other people think about what your connection is supposed to look like, in the end, the energy you put out about what you feel about that journey, that is the energy that matters. That is what's going to attract back. And here's the thing. If it's the energy that resonates with you and you are in your vibrational frequency that you belong in, it's the energy that's going to resonate with your twin if they're in their vibrational frequency. And you don't want to be together until you're both healed and in your vibrational frequency anyway, because it's not going to work and you're not ready to be together till then anyway. So it doesn't matter what society thinks it's supposed to look like. Just get into the vibrational frequency that is you and put that frequency out and support your twin. Don't do the Chinese finger thing, whether you're friends, whether you're whatever it is, support your twin until they get there too. And then the two of you will be in union, whatever that means for the two of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So next week, right, Gab?
Yes, next Tuesday. Get your questions out. If you have any particular questions, make sure you get those questions out. You can comment on those questions in the bio. Down here in the comment section, as well on the different social media platforms. Get your questions out if you have any questions. So we'll love to answer those questions for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So say goodbye, Gab.
Have a wonderful day. Peace, love, my twin flame, my spirit guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.